So the lead code problem we are going to solve now is called implement stack using queues. Now this one is also a lead code easy problem and pretty popular problem because we are using two fundamental data structures to basically implement each other. So this is going to be interesting. Now we all know that stack has the property of LIFO, last in first out. So whichever was the last element would be the first candidate to get out. And meanwhile queues have the property that is FIFO, that is first in first out. Now we need to implement stack using two queues. That's the only thing we need to do. And then we are given that what are the different operations we need to support. So we should be able to push an element in at the top of the stack. We should be able to pop an element. And when we pop the element, it has to be from the top of the stack as well. Top only shows that what is the current element, but we are just not popping it out. And then empty method just defines that whether the given stack is empty or not. Now notice that we are going to be using queue to basically implement that, and lucky for us we are given the option to implement it using two queues. So here I have provided two queues, and these are the operations we need to support. Now I'm not too much worried about empty operations, so let's just leave it on the side for now. Important ones are push and pop, and top is going to be very similar to pop. The only difference is we are not just popping the value out. Let's try to understand that how does push operation would work in a typical stack. If we had stack like this, and let's say the entry we want to push it 3, it would come over here, then 4 it would come over here, then 5 it would come over here. Now in this case, if we had just one queue, basically we would have 3, 4 and 5 sitting in this order. But if we had to take this one out, then we would have taken 3 out, but meanwhile we should have taken 5 out. Now notice that we are trying to implement this using a single-ended queue, not a double-ended queue, because if it was double-ended queue, we could have just inserted from both the ends and it would have been easy for us, and also exited from both the ends. But that is not the case. So let's see that how does our push operation works in such a manner that the element we enter is always going to end up at the beginning of the queue. So for that we are going to do like something tricky. We are going to have q1 and q2, and whenever a new element gets entered, it always gets entered into q2, second queue. And we are going to make sure that q2 always remains empty for now, and then only we are going to insert the element. And once we add value to the q2, then we are going to dump everything that is in the q1 and then dump it into q2, and then we are going to swap names. So let's try to understand why we are doing each of these three steps, and let's see each of the three steps in action. So first step is that let's say I have value the one that I'm trying to enter. So 1 is going to come at in the q2. Now currently in the q1 I don't have anything, so I don't have to move anything to the q2. And now last step was to swap names. So we are going to swap names between q1 and q2. Now why are we swapping names? Because remember we defined that q2 always has to remain empty where we are going to enter stuff in, and then things can change, but basically q2 we are always trying to make it as an empty queue. Now let's say that one more element 2 is going to come in. Now this 2 is also going to end up inside the q2, in the rear of the q2. And next step is going to dump everything we had from q1 to q2. So now we would have also inserted value 1 over here, so this is going to become 2 and 1, and this current q1 is going to become empty. Now after this is done, once again we need to have a q2 that is always empty, so we are going to replace the names. So this is now going to become our q2, and this is now going to become our q1. Now let's say there is an element 3 that we are trying to enter. Once again 3 is going to enter over here, then we are going to dump both of this 2 and 1 sequentially from q1 to q2. So this is going to become like 3, 2 and 1, and then we are going to have the names being replaced. So q1 is going to become q2, and this is going to become q1, and this is going to become an empty queue. Now notice that what is the property we are maintaining in each of the queue. We have inserted values 1, 2 and 3 so far. Now if this was just a simple stack, we would have entered values such as 1, 2 and 3. So 3 should have been the first candidate to get out, then 2 and then 1. Now if we have to start popping values out, basically we would always pop it from q1, and we would be able to maintain the property that this is going to look a stack like data structure where the value is going to come out as if it was coming out of a stack. So this is why we are basically doing for the push operation, we are doing that always enter into the q2, then move everything from q1 to q2, and then swap names. So this is basically the whole core idea about solving this problem. Now, some might say this looks like a trick, some might say this looks like something that you mugged up. If you had just put down your pen and paper and try to do some permutations and combinations, eventually you would be able to come to this same conclusion as well. It's not very complicated. Now let's try to understand that how does pop operation work. So we are always going to be popping out from whatever the value is present from the q1 as if this was a normal queue, and for the top operation as well, we are just going to see that what is the current value at the top of the given q1, but we are just not going to remove it. And for the empty function, now notice that q2 is always going to remain empty, so we don't have to worry about it. For is empty method, we are going to check that whether the q1 is empty or not. If it is empty, we can return true, otherwise we can return false. And this is the whole solution basically. Now let's try to understand time and space complexity for each one of them. Now time complexity is going to be big O of n for all the insert operations, because we are flipping things around and changing names and whatnot. But for in order for top and for pop method, this is also going to be big O of 1, and for empty method, this is also going to be big O of 1. And for the space complexity, since we are already given two queues, we are always maintaining one queue to be empty. So basically we are utilizing n extra space. But the thing is, since this is already given, so I don't think we need to worry about that that much. So now let's quickly see the coding solution for this problem. So the coding solution is quite straightforward. We are defining Q1 and Q2. These are the two queues we are going to be using, and we are using linked list to implement them. Then we are going to simply implement our push method. So for that, step 1 is to add elements to the Q2. Then step 2 is moving everything from Q1 to Q2. So while Q1 is not empty, we are going to enter everything into Q2. And then last thing is using a temporary queue, we are going to be swapping the names between q1 and q2. So now this is the main operation, push operation. So one that has been taken care of by the three steps we defined. And then for the pop, we are simply going to poll whatever the first element is present inside the q1. And for the top, we are just simply going to use peek method inside the q1. And for empty method, we are going to check that whether this given queue is empty or not. So let's try to run this code. It seems like our solution is working as expected. Let's submit this code. And our code runs fine, beats 100% of all the other solutions, which is pretty good. But since this is running in like a constant time, so that's why we are seeing this result. Once again, the coding solution is present in our GitHub repository, so feel free to check it out from there. Thank you.